Good morning mga ka-friendship. This is Awel Pasikolan checking in mga ka-friendship. I would like to, may I talk to you or may I share to you my experience regarding filling up the mind mga ka-friendship. It happened because it happened to me unconsciously because no, consciously I mean, but unintentionally. So, because I was kicked out of the house, okay, at a very young age, at the age of, I believe, mga 19, somewhere there, no? Somewhere, mga 20s, mga ganon. Pero, then, because of that situation, mga ka-friends, I was very observant because imagine you're all alone roaming the streets of Manila with nothing, no money, no nothing, no family, no nothing. So I became very dependent on strangers, meaning people that good people, mga kapatid. I was surprised that so many good people outside of, because out, we thought, ano na tayo na, be careful with people you do not know, don't talk to strangers and all those things. Surprisingly, mga friendship, so many nice people around, mga friendship. And then, these were the people who helped me, who accommodated me, and all these things. And that is why I was able to survive. But still, what developed here is my being observant unconsciously, mga friendship. Because syempre, you're on your toes, and then you don't know what's going on. So what happened was I was very conscious of what's going on. Di ba? Ganun. So, and I believe I developed that skill in observation, mga ka-friendship. And I did, later on, I realized it was an asset, mga ka-friendship. Yung pa rin dapat pala ang, when we are in the learning process, mga ka-friendship, how do you learn? You learn by observing, right? One of the reasons, one of the tricks is for you to be observant, mga ka-friendship. And you should learn how to see the world, what is going on in your around you, what's going on in your surroundings, and all these things. And then you qualified all these things. It becomes your knowledge, and with your knowledge, mga friendship, then what will happen? Your choice or your target or your goal or your purpose will come in, friendship, and you'll be using all this knowledge in applying and executing your purpose, or you make your roadmap to your purpose or to your goal. So you will be able to have a roadmap. But without this knowledge, without all this information, medyo meron, pero it's gonna be limited, mga ka-friendship, di ba? But if you are aware of what is there available to you, di ba? Then you make life easier, mga ka-friendship. So, ganon. So, what happened is that after more than a year yata, more than a year, my father siguro found out that that he still loves me. So, pinahanap na niya ako, and I was back at home, and he just, my father was an academician. He's a lawyer, so ang pre-law niya was accounting or commerce and something like that. So, andun siya sa, well, di ba? Andun yung sinauna natin, our parents, andun sila sa knowledge through college, mga kapatid. Knowledge through having a diploma. Di ba? Which is, there's nothing wrong with that, mga ka-friendship. Tama yun. But as far as because of my being observant is concerned, mga ka-friendship, I thought, then I went back to, medyo ano na ako nun, high school graduate na ako nun. And I was already in college, I believe. So, but in my first, second year, nandun. So, I went back to school and then and continue with my course, mga ka-friendship, and I was able to finish it. But this time, nag-iiba na yung ano ko. Nag-iiba na yung pananaw ko. Is this for me? Di ba? Or do something else? Mga ka-friendship. Di ba? Parang ganon. So, andun pa rin yung trial and error and andun pa rin yung just do it, mga ka-friendship. So, right after, even before because I did not graduate. I finished school, but I did not graduate because of the requirements, mga ka-friendship. Hindi ko gusto ROTC before, di ba? Yung PEO nakalusot because I played. Naglaro ako ng konting basketball, so that erases the physical education side. Ngayon, and then, so ano na, naghanap na tayo ng work, no? So mahaba na yung ano ko doon, yung struggles ko about work. But I've learned na what I like, what I would love to do. But ano, unang-una what I've learned is what I don't like to do, mga ka-friendship, di ba? I don't like, I tried working for a company in the office, mga ka-friendship, because since I took up accounting, andun ako sa accounting department, hindi ba? And siguro it took me 3 months to realize this is not me, because I hate the four corners of the room, okay? Whether it's big or small, you're still in the four corners of a room, mga ka-friendship. And I was always wondering, my mind was wondering what is happening outside. So, in short, talagang pang outside ako, hindi ako pang inside, mga ka-friendship, di ba? And I hate the break na 15-minute coffee break, then the lunch break, 1 hour na nagmamadali ka, and all those. I hated it, mga ka-friendship, di ba? So, then I found out again, your time is very important, mga ka-friendship. Di ba? But once you enter a company, or where you work for a company, you don't own your time anymore. Di ba? And time is, and then I realized that later on, sa umpisa, medyo siyempre, mag-iisip ka. You have your own time, but you have no work. So, when you have no work, you have no income. Friendship, di ba? So, ganun na lang nangyari sa akin. So, but later on, I realized, since I didn't have an office work, or I didn't, so I was able to land a job. Medyo I came across of a news that there's such a thing as company giving training to salespeople, mga ka-friendship. They train their sales force. They train first, you train first, and then whether you qualify to be in, as a salesman. Ano ito? It's a car company, mga ka-friendship. And then, so I went, I learned about it, I looked for it, wala pang Google nung araw. So, I went there and I was late, sabi nung the training program still has begun. So, medyo you're late and all those things. So, I don't know what got into me. Sabi ko, is the president in? Automatically, without thinking, sabi niya, I'm sorry he's not in, but the vice president is in. Ganon. Diba? Sabi ko, could I see him? Ganon. So, these are things that, parang everything is falling into place, mga ka-friendship, na it shouldn't have happened. Surprisingly, the vice president let me in and talked to me, and he thought I was somebody else. Diba? And then I just told him I just wanted to join the training course or the training program to be a salesman and all these things. So siguro he he um, he uh, he noticed my persistence and siguro my uh, my eagerness, mga ka-friendship. So he called up the person in charge of the training program, mga ka-friendship. So sabi niya, Mr. Colonel, he's a colonel. Colonel, will you please come up and, ano, okay, and then umakyat yung colonel. And then sabi niya, oh, this is Mr. Persicola, and we wanted to join your training course and all those things. Siyempre, coming from the vice president, mga friends, yung in charge, who is under him, sabi, yes sir, diba? Come on, Mr. Pascolan. Di ba? Yeah, inalagaan pa niya ako. I followed him to the training program. So, I was able to join the training program. And that started my selling career. But it was a long story. Again, mga ka-friendship, siguro I'll, when we have time, we'll work on, I'll be telling you this story. And ngayon, that's what happened. So what is the point here, mga ka-friendship? You have to be aware. Now, so this is partly of my tawag dito, feeling the mind, mga ka-friendship. So what I've learned, isipin niyo yun, from wandering Metro Manila. Oh, wala pang Metro Manila noon. From wandering all over Manila alone, mga ka-friendship, because hindi pa ako kinukuha ng tatay ko ulit. So, for more than 1 year, you can just think of the experience that I've been through, mga ka-friendship, di ba? And if you value that, you consider that as a matter of fact, and then you consider that, you add that to your knowledge, mga ka-friendship, and experience, di ba? Once you applied it, mga ka-friendship, sabi nga nila, sabi nga nila, wisdom begins by knowing what you do not know, di ba? Socrates po yan. And then, so, ganun yun. So that's what I've learned. I've learned about the life in Metro Manila, more so during at night, you know, the nightlife in Metro Manila, because that was my life. That became my life. I live at night, friendship, di ba? And I'll tell you, and it's something else. It's beneficial to me. Sabi nga nung kanta, I live by night and I shun the naked light of day. Di ba? So, ganun po yan. So what is the point here? You keep on let's be conscious, think of always what's going on, di ba? And always exercise your IQ, your mindfulness, and all these things, because definitely you're gonna need it in your navigation through life, mga ka-friendship, di ba? Magagamit nyo yan. And if you continue learning, continue studying, continue being observant, this will become your foundation, mga ka-friendship, and you will have a very strong foundation as long as when you think on the right side or the right way, mga ka-friendship. Right? So, doon muna tayo, mga ka-friendship, as usual. Have a nice day, and see you in the next conversation. Thank you.